Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous episode 159. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host.
There's ducks outside. Oh, sorry. Dane. I'm Dane. Dane Cody. That's what's going on.
I don't get it. Were they
I got distracted. They were like flying by my window. They were in like a big V. They were like honking and making all this noise.
I can't hear them because your mic is adjusted well.
Exactly.
I know every time you say there's tons of noise in the background, you're like, oh man, moving truck. I'm like, nah, I don't hear it.
It's because we do this shit right.
Hell yeah. Welcome everybody. If you've never been here before, we get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like. A little BS off the top, get into some what we've been playing, some news, public service announcements, and free for all. And here we are on the cusp of E3.
It's almost like E3 Eve over here.
Yeah. This time, by the time you listen to this,
E3 will be over.
No, it won't. This comes out before E3. A week from now, right. E3 will be over. That's crazy. I leave in a few days.
I hate you.
I'm excited and I don't know why I kind of having anxiety.
It's because you're doing it all alone. You don't have me to cover your back.
Oh, I got my homie Joel who's going to be hanging out with me down there.
Psh, Joel, like he's me. Ha! Not even
He's
funny.
a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
He is no Mr. Dane Cody, though.
That's better.
Yeah, I'm just kind of lucky with how it works out with time off and stuff that I'm able to make it go. And my awesome wife lets me use the air miles or the bonus flight points for a free trip.
Fair enough, man.
Talk about boss.
Yep. Boss.
But yeah, I'm excited and also anxious because there's so my schedule is pretty packed. I'm I feel like I kind of made too many appointments.
Shut your face. You got lots of appointments. That's good.
It is good, but at the same time, I also like that time to roam around. But
we'll do that at PAX. We'll roam lots.
There is extra show. I don't know how it works because the show is industry anyway. Up until last year when they let the public in. Mm-hmm. And they have 3 hours the first 2 days for industry and media.
Oh, okay.
So I think before they let the public in, but the public's only 15,000 people, so it's still going to be pretty busy, I think.
Only 15,000? Yeah.
It's going to be pretty intriguing to see what kind of changes they've made this year. Hopefully they've learned from last year with the craziness that happened. Now they have all the added security stuff, so
yeah. I'm hoping that they learned from it and they figured out good ways to.
I imagine they have
set the lines up and just do a lot of the things that it sounds like weren't great last year.
If you remember last year, I was saying they need more demo kiosks. Less of the stupid dragons and cool stuff, though it's cool, but they need more just stations so people can get in and get out.
Yeah.
And not have to wait 3 hours to play something. Because, I think this show over time is going to be more public facing. As it transitions more into I think a PAX thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of sounding like, hey man, give it 5 more years and it'll be E3 presented by PAX.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising considering, was it PAX that bought the other one or was it the other guys who bought PAX?
Yeah, it was it's all kind of confusing. The people that set up or were doing PAX, then they bought sort of the PAX name. So then they're doing shows that are essentially presented by PAX in other places around the world.
Well, yeah, they bought the big one in the UK. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, that was actually a the magazine that bought that one over there.
Oh, am I getting stories confused?
Yeah. That
was the Eurogamer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like their parent company or whatever bought that one over there. So,
yeah, we might get it all confused, but either way.
Yeah, so
yeah, I'm excited and a little nervous because it's crazy time. Gonna see a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be lots of fun.
We were going to do predictions.
A prediction cast.
But we were talking before we started recording, and I kind of feel like, I don't know, the prediction stuff has been run into the ground. And with days to go, there's not a lot of stuff to predict anymore because half of the stuff I would have predicted has leaked out.
Yeah, this, like no other E3, has just been a leaky sieve of stuff.
I think last year was pretty bad, but definitely this year has like taken the belt.
This year's bad. Like
It's
I feel
bad,
like some of these shows are almost gonna have, like, especially like the Bethesda show, for example. Like, what are those guys even gonna have left to show?
Doom 2.
I don't think they're ready to show Doom 2.
What? That came out so long ago.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, there's one prediction right there.
So there you go.
I'm pretty positive Doom 2 is going to be there. It's been enough time, and that game left off on a super cliffhanger. It's not really a prediction because it's just a given at this
Doom
point.
2 was only like 2 years ago.
No, it's not. You're wrong.
And on top of that,
Wrong.
Doom 2015. 3 years ago, sorry.
That's long enough.
Yeah, but then they did the Doom. They did the Switch port. They did the other stuff. No, I don't think so. I think they're gonna go whole hog with the.
Okay, I think
with the other stuff.
I think we're gonna have to do five guys drive down to PAX bet on this one. If there is a Doom 2 announced at PAX, you owe me a combo or a meal, whatever.
Sure.
And if they don't, I owe you a meal.
All right.
Not that big of a deal.
I'm not talking about like leaky Civ stuff. I'm talking about in their actual, like, you know,
yeah,
conference.
Like in their press conference on Saturday night or Sunday night, whenever it is. Yeah. Not like we know it's coming, but like I expect it to be at their press conference.
Okay.
Because we're not going to get a new Elder Scrolls.
No, they're going to talk about their new, how well the MMO is doing and what's coming next and how. And
we already know Rage and Fallout, so that right there, that's upwards of 45 minutes.
I think that's pretty much their whole press conference, man.
I can't remember how many games they talked about last year. I feel like it was about 4 plus or minus.
Yeah, Wolfenstein's already out
because they do some pretty deep dives on their little press conference.
Yeah. I don't know how long it is, so we'll see, I guess.
I'm sure it's at least an hour and a half. So, yeah, we've got Saturday, EA's event.
Yep.
Is Bethesda Sunday or Saturday night?
I think it's Bethesda was
Saturday
night and EA was Sunday.
No, Microsoft Sunday.
What?
Microsoft is Sunday. I know.
Oh, you're right.
I have an invite.
Right.
Bethesda's press conference. What time is it on?
Okay, then maybe theirs is the one that's on Saturday evening, and EA's is the one Saturday morning.
Bethesda E3 press conference start time 6:30 Sunday evening.
Ha!
So it's EA is Saturday. I can't remember what time it is on Saturday.
And then Microsoft is Sunday morning?
Yeah. Well, Sunday like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, something like that.
Oh, it's like the most awkward time for me.
It's an annoying time to say the trace.
It would be great if it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, because then I could just, get it out of the way and then I'm done. But having it in the middle of the day, it's like that's when my wife wakes up and she's like, "Hey, let's go grab breakfast and stuff." And I'm like, but Microsoft.
And so is the EA one. The EA one is Saturday at 11 a.m. Microsoft's at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Bethesda's
I feel like
11's
6. Even more useful than 1, though. It's easier for me to do.
They're both bad because my kid's awake. Actually, the EA one's okay because I'll be able to watch that before the birthday party starts.
Oh, there you
I'll
go.
probably be busy setting stuff up, but
I don't know if I'll bother or not. That's who am I kidding? Of course I will.
I won't sit there and watch it on my computer because I'll be busy. I'll probably be streaming it on my phone and like listening to it on headphones or something.
Little tip for people out there, and I don't know, I haven't confirmed this year if they're doing it or not, but last year, if you watched the press conference on Mixer, you got a bunch of free goodies.
Oh, that was the Microsoft one,
Microsoft
yeah.
press
I tried
conference.
doing that last year, and Mixer was like crapping out. I didn't get anything.
Oh, I totally did.
Like, what kind of things?
I got the whole Rare bundle.
What?
For free. Yeah, like I got all the Rare games, like that whole Rare bundle with all their different games for free. So, for watching it on Mixer.
Huh. I'm sure they're doing that again this year. They have a Mixer booth. Their presence on the show floor is the Mixer booth.
Interesting. Okay.
They're big.
I haven't seen anything announced this year, but hey, I figure if you're gonna watch it, it's always
I just
good
had a
idea
link
to maybe
to it
play.
in the show notes, and I killed it.
Good job.
Well, because I was like, there's not much to freaking talk about here.
All right, I'm looking right now on their.
I'm pretty sure they do.
E3.
So Bethesda Sunday night, Monday we got SquareSoft doing like a Nintendo Direct style thing at 10 a.m.
Oh, guys.
What?
Viewers logged into Mixer will be eligible for a special mix pot full of digital content.
Ooh.
Stay tuned for more details. So there you go. So if you're going to watch the Microsoft one, link your Mixer and your Microsoft account, and you'll get some free shit when you watch it on Mixer. And if Mixer craps out, just load it up on Twitch as well and watch it there. Although it doesn't actually say that it's going to be on Twitch this year, so I don't know. Oh, yeah, they do. I lied.
I was so annoyed because, like, Bethesda, I've been emailing for appointments, right?
Right.
And, it is some, I guess, devs, publishers, whatever you want to call it. It's a U.S. event, so some of them have Canadian people down there and some don't.
This sounds very annoying.
I'm pretty sure
already.
Bethesda doesn't have any Canadian PR.
Right.
So they don't have slots reserved for Canadian media. So that's kind of like where where we luck out, is that as Canadian, we kind of get to sneak in because, they got to represent and get some Canadian representation in there, right?
Whoop, whoop.
So they sent me, it was funny because I saw other people complaining online and they didn't call anyone out. And they're like, I just got my first rejection email from a publisher or a dev, and it's like, and I never asked to go to their thing. They're like,
that's funny.
And I'm like, hey, so did I. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was this. They're like, we don't have any space in our showcase, but thanks for your interest. I'm like, no, I just want a booth appointment. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to make it to your press conference, actually.
That's funny.
Even though as much as I would like to and would have loved an invite. And I'm like, no, I just want the appointment at the booth so I can see the stuff.
Right.
Anyway. Monday, Square Enix in the morning, Ubisoft in the afternoon at 1, which I do have an invite to. PC Gaming Show, 3 p.m. I could have registered for that, and I'm just like, I don't know how that's going to work, so I just didn't bother. Sony, I do also have an invite for. And that's
lucky.
That's 6 p.m. Monday night. And then on Tuesday morning, as usual, Nintendo's doing their Nintendo Direct 9 a.m. before the show starts. And the show I think the show is longer this year as well. It goes to 7 at night. The first day it starts quite late. It starts at 11.
Okay.
But every night it goes till 7, except for the last night it goes till 6. But then on that last night it also starts earlier too. So yeah,
Sweet.
Pretty exciting stuff.
No, it's also exciting.
What?
Spoiler out there for anybody listening, but the Cavs totally just bit it to the Warriors again.
Is it done?
Oh yeah. Nope. That's 3 games though for the Warriors. NBA Finals. That's all. Sorry. Little side note.
Where did those guys play out of?
Golden State. That's technically Oakland, but San Francisco, Oakland.
Nice.
Yeah. The Bay Area. How's that?
I was worried about... I didn't go to E3 the one year. Apparently the Kings were in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, I heard it was a gong show.
Yeah, apparently that was a disaster. So I was pretty happy when I found out like no one's going to be in NBA playoffs or NHL playoffs, because the Staples Center is like, you've got the E3 Convention Center,
right?
Staples Center immediately adjacent to it, and then it's the start of what they call LA Live, which is like the couple hotels, theaters, a bunch of big restaurants, bars. Like, it's kind of like the little heart of LA.
Right, yeah.
Or at least that area there, which is kind of cool, nice area to hang out with. But besides, after that, it's just like picture Fallout game.
Right.
There's nothing else. There's stuff there, but it's like,
there's
you
stuff
don't,
just not during the weekend, and not
you just don't want to go there.
Actually go to. Yeah, it's like the business district or whatever.
Which is nice, because before, in the past, there was literally nothing to do. Like, the convention center would end and everyone would like run away to other areas of town
that were safer or more exciting.
I never felt unsafe there.
I'm just bugging.
The thing is, it's funny because when I don't know, if you've never seen me in person, you may confuse me for an ethnicity. I am Portuguese, but I'm just a freaking white dude. But whenever I'm in LA, the locals always talk to me in Spanish. Obviously,
I can see it, I guess.
Probably my facial hair and, darker skin. So they just fucking figure that I'm one of them. Start talking to me, right? Which is fine. I actually kind of, I'm like, yeah, I'm down with the people. That's right. So, Holmes.
Fair
so
enough.
I never feel threatened. So, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, I don't speak Spanish. I kind of I understand what you said because it's kind of close to Portuguese, but man, just like slow it down a bit and maybe we can have a conversation.
Fair enough, man.
But yeah, some people are like, oh, it's crazy. You don't want to go over there and here and there. And I'm walking around. It's like the first time I went to New York. It was like, New York is obviously not as bad as it used to be. But the first time I went to New York was probably 12, 15 years ago.
Right.
And me and a couple of the guys were walking around 4 a.m. It's like, I don't know. I don't live life worrying about stuff that's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Fair enough, man.
I don't go looking.
You do you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, those are press conferences. I was really stressing about predictions the last couple of days. Been so busy between you've had family stuff and friends visiting. I've just had life and stuff happening.
Yeah. So much.
I had some, but like Dane was saying, like so much stuff has leaked. Like, I was going to call, the Doom 2 thing. I would have called a new Fallout game. I don't know what else. Microsoft is actually pretty surprising. There hasn't really been any leaks except for a rumor has leaked out today, which we'll get to. We know Fortnite.
It's like I said, leaky sieve, man. Leaky sieve.
Things that I would want. Shooting for the stars. Vita 2 from PlayStation. As powerful as a PlayStation 4. That would be dope.
That would be pretty amazing, actually.
Nintendo. I don't know. They've been doing everything that we freaking want. What can we ask for?
A proper online service that doesn't suck ass. That would be amazing.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. We have Pokemon coming. We have Switch or Smash coming. We know Metroid's coming. So what else could you ask for? Another Zelda? Well, that's too soon for that. That's at least another 2 years from now, or a year or two, right?
I'd love to see Nvidia announce, obviously, new video cards.
I would
they've
like
already
that.
said that's not going to happen.
And again,
I would also like to see them announce that GeForce Now is going to be a flat rate of
that's true. Actually, they might have
$15 a month. That would be fucking dope.
They might have something to say about that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and like the new video cards, that's an obvious, right?
Eventually, it's going to happen.
We know they're coming. They've been showing up apparently on benchmark sites.
Nope.
I thought I saw some
I wish
driver showed up somewhere on a stats
I've been
site.
following that shit so hard.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you are building a new PC.
It's depressing.
And it's kind of weird.
Now.
Like, they're at E3, but like that announcement would get buried. So like that's why there's been so many leaks, because these games now. I'm excited for Fallout. I'm excited for Rage 2, which I would have never thought I cared about. Prior to this, some of these games leaking, they probably would have just got buried underneath other bigger stuff, right? So it makes sense. They're leaks, not leaks. They're planned PR releases
but I mean,
to build hype.
Their whole announcement thing kind of in their own specific time anyways, so that would have got its own time. Like, it's kind of, you know what I mean? Like that, the way that they release stuff now, they've kind of,
it's like a 3
gotten
weeks
away from the whole two-day fest that it used to be at E3, right?
Yeah, like it was the 2-day press conference fest, and then everyone got to try everything during the show.
Right.
And a few little things snuck out of the show here and there, but that was the kind of stuff that you would actually miss, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like last year on the Treehouse stream, Nintendo's like, oh, by the way, we got a new Metroid for DS. I was like, well, that wasn't even part of your Nintendo Direct. Like, what are you doing?
What the hell are you doing? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so Vita 2, these are my shoot for the moon things. I don't know what. Xbox released a new Halo that's like totally reimagined, or a new Gears of War.
You mean Halo 6 and Gears of War 5?
No, like do like a God of War. That's what it's called now, when you totally reinvent the wheel and make something better.
No, that's not going to happen.
Actually, there's a rumor about the next Halo, but it's super rumor, so I didn't put it in our outline.
Yeah. No, it's because you got to remember that those are established franchises that were massive, and they already have a specific fan base.
I think those fan bases have shrunk so much that they could afford to go crazy and do something new.
I think you underestimate them. I think the way
I probably do. I don't have the numbers.
They got away with it with God of War is because the last God of War game came out so long ago on PlayStation 3, and it didn't do awesome, and even the one before that wasn't awesome either, and it had it had been so long since a new God of War game had come that it was just kind of like, yeah, we can do this now. We can kind of there's tons of people that I've talked to, and a lot of them have never played a God of War game at all, and now they're interested in this one.
Definitely, and Microsoft has they have the most to prove.
I feel like that too. I feel like Sony this last year and even the beginning of this year so far, they've dropped absolutely incredible games. Generally either PC and PlayStation exclusives or PlayStation entirely exclusive. And I feel like Microsoft, it's their time to stand up and they go really, like, this is what we got going on, and make it big. Yeah. They're going with the hearts and minds thing, which I love, and I think it's incredible to see. Like,
they're supporting their system, they're supporting their fans. They got an awesome ecosystem. Their multiplayer's top notch,
and even with that new controller, right?
Still,
that new controller they're releasing is incredible, and I love that type of stuff. Like I said, they're going with the hearts and minds thing, right? Like they're trying to do good things to get in good.
They're satisfying their base, that's for sure.
Right, but they're not pulling anybody over.
But they're not expanding. They really need to. I don't know. I hate to say it, but I just feel like I'm going to be disappointed. And I hope
sucks too, because they have the most powerful console right now.
And I hope I'm wrong. Oh, I love my Xbox One X. Yeah. Like, I play Monster Hunter on it. I played Assassin's Creed, because the best versions of those games are on the One X. Dope system.
Yeah.
But the problem is you can play those games everywhere else.
Totally.
So it's like, it makes it really hard to justify shelling out an extra 500, 400, whatever bucks for an Xbox, when you may potentially already have a system that can play those games.
Mm-hmm.
And that they haven't been delivering with the exclusives. So here's hoping they pull out the big guns. I'd love to like I said, they've got the most to prove, and they might do some crazy stuff. So I guess we'll find out on Sunday.
Heck yeah.
And yeah, like another little mini prediction. Like, we know Fortnite's coming to Switch. I predict that not only is it going to get announced during the Direct, it's going to be like, oh, and you can download it now.
That would be pretty cool.
I'm almost positive. Because I think I said this a show or two ago. If it can run on a friggin' cell phone, it can run on the Switch.
I feel like, yes. I feel exactly like that.
There's a lot of money to be made there. Holy crap.
And why wouldn't you? I mean, it's not like... I mean, yes, the Switch, I think, will make them a lot of money, but at the same time, it's not like there's 100 million Switches out there. We're sitting at like, what, 15 million, something like that?
No.
Which is still awesome.
They're at like 20 million, dude.
Are they already?
Yeah. I think we talked about that a while ago. They're killing it. At this rate, they're going to be honest, if Microsoft doesn't pull out the big guns at this rate, the Switch is going to pass the Xbox. It's only been out for a year. PS4 and Xbox have been out, what, 4 or 5 years now? The Switch is like on fire.
Yeah.
I'd love to play Fortnite. I'd totally get back into Fortnite on Switch.
Well, the first year of the Switch, it outsold the Wii U in its entire life,
yeah.
which was essentially 13.56 million. That was through the end of December. I don't know. Okay, according to Financial Times, they believe the company may actually have 20 million consoles ready by March, but I don't know. That doesn't say anything about sell-through.
Yeah, well, we're now in June, so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got there. And then they got Pokemon and Smash this year, man. They're going to be killing it.
Yeah.
And then we know Metroid's coming, and then what other stuff that could use a Switch revamp that may have got neglected. We're going to get a new Mario Maker at some point. That just totally makes sense. And then we'll get our sequels to Mario and Zelda. Oh,
so many sequels.
Such an awesome console.
I would honestly love to see Microsoft announce a new IP, something totally different.
I'm sure they will. Guaranteed they'll have
and
at least one.
Not Splatoon, something new that I care about. I know it sounds terrible because I didn't really play Splatoon. You said Microsoft.
Did you mean Nintendo?
I wanted them to both release a new IP. I really do. I really want both of them to release new IPs.
I'm sure Nintendo will have something new too. What that is, no one knows. Nintendo just makes some awesome games.
Yeah.
Well, Dane, that was a long BS section. Should we get this show proper on the road?
Yeah, man. What the fuck have you been playing?
I played a few things. I will start with Detroit.
Ooh.
Which was graciously provided to me from Sony. Thank you very much, Sony. To be honest, I'm not a huge, I don't know, people call them David Cage games.
Yeah.
The Quantic Dream games, which is basically just your interactive adventure game, right? QTEs, quick time events. Very cinematic presentation storytelling. Basically like an interactive movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what those games are, right? Like Detroit storytelling, different is like stuff.
Yeah, what was it? Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, Indigo Prophecy. I feel like there's something else in there. Lineage. They're cult classics. Like, people love them. They keep giving them more money to make more of these, so they're doing all right. Detroit is their newest title. Takes place in the future. Detroit, obviously. And you play the role of... you play as 3 different characters. So I'm going to try and be light on story details as to not spoil stuff. It's pretty obvious if you've seen any trailers or anything about this game. You play as an android. There's 3 of them. There's Marcus, Kara, and I think I'm trying to brain fart on the first guy's name. I think it's Connor.
Sounds like a very android name.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up because I'm just having a brain fart.
Connor.
And basically, the game opens up with the demo we played at I played at E3, and that you played at PAX, or you didn't play it at PAX. Scott and Jason played it at PAX.
Scott and Jason played it at PAX. I watched through most of it.
Yeah, which is you can get a gist of it, right?
Yeah.
So it's an adventure game, third person. Yeah, it is Connor. And basically, you play as one of these 3 androids. They've got their little different stories going on. I haven't gotten to the point where I assume they're going to intertwine. Connor is kind of like an investigator, an investigative android who's brought into crime scenes to investigate stuff.
So he works for the cops?
He works for the pigs, man.
Right.
And even so, he is kind of like talked down to and like disrespected. People are not huge fan. Like, so it's kind of like the us versus them. A huge underlying narrative of the story is that, the androids, they took our gerbs. So you've got the people who are rich and can afford androids to basically babysit and raise their kids, do all the chores and whatnot.
So
right?
essentially they're slaves.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you've got the ones that are like, androids ruined my life. I lost my job to an android, and then here I am with a bloody android in my house. Like, what am I doing? And basically, you've got different dialogue trees. They've got like an augmented vision as an android, so you can see stuff in the environment you can interact with. There's, like I said, the QuickTime events. There's kind of like investigative detectivision stuff you do with Connor, kind of like a la Batman on crime scenes. Some action sequences.
So is it similar to the way that you would do crime scenes and stuff in... Oh, not Beyond Two Souls. What's the one before
Heavy
that?
Rain?
Heavy Rain.
Yeah,
the
kind of.
sections
Heavy
those
Rain.
Where you kind of like walk around.
Definitely, you walk around, you scan stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how those work, but it's kind of the same.
Okay.
Visually, beautiful game. Like, it's gorgeous.
I hear that's a lot of money went into making that game look real good.
The presentation is really cool. You'll get hints on what to do in the environment with like text that's overlaid like over walls and stuff. It is a very slick game.
Huh. Okay.
I've had a couple instances where sometimes like what I was doing was not totally clear. There are so many branching paths in each scenario, and actually after a scene, it plays out and shows you, doesn't show you everything you could have done, but it shows you your decisions and how they play out. And if you didn't go this way, you could have gone this way, and then you can tell that a scene totally ended differently.
Interesting. So a little bit like when you finish a chapter in a Telltale game.
Yeah, kind of. And
where it sort of shows you like, these are the ones that you did. These were kind of the other options that you could have done. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Exactly. It is... so Connor is a police investigator.
Right.
Kara is a housekeeper. And then Marcus is a caretaker. And a big thing with Connor, too, as an investigator, he actually... They kind of set up this whole premise of deviants. And those are androids that are,
found their soul,
malfunctioning, I guess you could say. But I guess
gone rogue.
As this game goes on, spoiler alert, it seems like they're becoming self-aware. So I don't know how that all comes to be later on in the story. I've played it for probably about 4 or 5 hours, so I think I'm only maybe about a third of the way through. I've heard it's about 10 hours, but I've been playing pretty slow. And I've actually been playing with my wife. She's like helping me make decisions or notice stuff in the environment. So it's a really good game for that. I'm really intrigued with the story, the characters, where it's going. And to be honest, I don't think I own Heavy Rain. I couldn't get into it. But I'm actually, obviously, if you've been listening for a while, I like sci-fi stuff. Mm-hmm. And with the whole Westworld kind of vibe going on here with androids and whatnot, it's really appealing to me. I think it's a really cool game. I could see where people have had knocks against it. The control can be a little awkward sometimes. I wouldn't say janky, but a little tank control-y. Sometimes switching camera can be confusing because it's essentially a fixed camera, except for certain. It's always changing. It's very every scene is presented very cinematically, like depending on the angle of when you come into a room or around a corner or whatnot. The camera isn't always necessarily where you would expect it to be. So not that it's a bad thing, but that's what gives it like a really cool style, right? And you can tap your shoulder button. I think it's your R1 to like change camera angle. So you can always change it, right? So
okay.
It's a cool game. I really like it. It totally surprised me. It was like not on my radar. And honestly, I'm kind of like, oh, well, I'm bad for like missing this. It's pretty good. You know, I'd say like I'm pretty early right now. It's a solid like 7.5. If I had to give it a number, and
if you have to give it a numbered score, I had to give it a number,
which is it's totally good. But the thing is by the time I'm done it, I'm sure that number will go up because, to be honest, I want to play more of it. Whenever I want to keep playing a game, that's a good sign. And my wife's into it, and she's watching it, and she's entertained. So, you know, that's a good thing.
That's good. Interesting.
It's a slick game. You know, a couple things, you know, some of the control things can be a little weird, but considering for the most part, besides the QuickTime events, it's not that important if it's a little janky here and there. Because, you know, it's an investigative game for...
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be kind of slow, and as long as you're not...
Suspense, action, thriller. It's third person. Right. Yeah, it's a great... I think it's a cool game. I'm really enjoying it, and it's totally surprised me. When I'm done, I'll have to lend it to you, so you can check it out.
I'm curious. I am.
I think it's pretty cool.
Right on,
and I'm really enjoying it. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have beaten it by now, but with everything going on right now,
just hasn't happened, huh?
It just hasn't happened. And it's really cool to say one thing. There's some known actors in this game.
Yeah.
Like Marcus is like from Grey's Anatomy. So he's a very recognized actor. Jesse Williams. The girl who plays Kara, they look just like the characters.
Oh, wow.
Valerie Curry is the name of the girl who plays Kara. Apparently what is she in? She's from Veronica Mars. Apparently Twilight Saga, Blair Witch. I don't know her from any of her movie stuff, but anyway, she looks identical to the girl in the game. I assume the third Connor's voice actor, motion capture actor, looks just like him. They look like the actors, not like bad versions, but like, my wife recognized Marcus immediately because she watches.
He looks like they did a crazy job with him. He looks incredible. I've definitely seen like videos and things like that.
And there's definitely other actors you'll recognize as the story goes along. It's like, dude, that guy. What the hell?
Very cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's a cool game. Check it out. If you're intrigued or thinking it might be something that you are interested in, at this point I can say it seems pretty good. I don't think I've heard issues with story, not like spoilerish stuff, but like other complaints besides control. Like this is the stuff other people have knocked this game down. Or sometimes, besides the control, not as bad. It's just some people can find it clunky. Is the story, like, I think the pacing or the way the story progresses, some people are like, I had a hard time getting from point A to B on some parts. I'm clearly not at that point yet, but that's one of those things that's to each person is going to have a different opinion on stuff like that, right?
Oh, for sure. And it sounds like a game like that with so many different decisions and routes and things like that.
Absolutely.
That you can take. My one experience could kind of be very different than somebody else's experience.
Totally. So. I did this. I did this. This happened to me. This didn't happen to me. Like with all the branching paths. apparently when you beat the game, they do a good job of allowing you to replay stuff from certain points to see how stuff plays out.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's a really cool way to do it.
That's a plus. Yeah, and that's Detroit.
Sweet.
I also played Moonlighter.
Don't know what that is.
On PS4.
Okay.
Code was provided to me by the PR company that's doing PR for them. Anyway, it's developed by Digital Sun and published by 11-Bit Studios. It is on, I believe, PS4, Xbox, and PC. It is, I believe, coming to Switch.
Okay.
It is a top-down Zelda-esque dungeon crawler with
interesting
kind of roguelike aspects in that
roguelite.
Basically the dungeon is random every time you go into it.
Huh.
But basically it's top down. By night you're
Valley vibe.
By night you're a dungeon crawler, and by day you're a shopkeeper.
Oh, is this the game? Okay. So is this the game where you're the shopkeeper in an RPG like town?
Yeah,
and like there's adventures that come through, and you're trying to like keep your shop stocked.
Yeah, so
and you go into the dungeons to try and like get stuff so that you can sell it to the adventurers, so that they don't like move on, and that you can sell them crap and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I hear good things.
Basically, you go through the dungeon, you get loot, you get different crafting material and so forth. There's, bosses, different enemies, puzzles to solve. And it's totally like, it's 16-bit type graphics, Zelda, like Legend of Zelda kind of top-down dungeon crawling, like totally.
Yeah.
And basically, you go in, fill up your backpack, get stuff. Potentially, there's a big quest going on, which I haven't really unearthed the big storyline of what's going on here quite yet. I've only been into the first dungeon maybe 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
And from what I've gathered, it's been different every time I go in.
Interesting.
And then you leave the dungeon, you set up your shop, or go to sleep, save the game, and in the morning you can set up your shop and basically place out. Up at the start, you can put like 4 items on tables, and like, shoppers come in the store, and then they get really happy about your pricing, or they get upset. So you can kind of get a reaction as to what your prices are for stuff, and then you can modify it. It's like, oh, I'm charging too much for that. Eventually you get to a point where some folks will have actual specific requests, and then you can sell stuff for a lot of money and make some good bank on it,
right?
And as stuff sells, you like restock your table. At first your shop only has 1 table. I've seen that you can unlock more tables.
Nice.
It's a really cool game. It's really neat. Like, it's a different premise because it's 2 games. It's like a I don't know what you call the shopkeeping sim,
kind
sim.
Of a management sim.
Yeah, exactly. Management sim, and then resource management sim, and then a dungeon crawler as well. The graphics are great. It plays really well. You've got like a dodging mechanic, blocking, obviously different weapons and crafting. Like I said, your backpack with so many slots. You've got the ability to some stuff you can send back to your chest immediately, and you can only carry so much stuff, right? So at that point you have to drop stuff or I don't know if you could. I think you can destroy it, or there's an ability to. You have a pendant which charges up, as you're dungeon crawling, which basically warps you out of the dungeon. I got an ability recently where you can actually destroy items and it'll charge up your pendant quicker. So if you want to warp out of the dungeon, because if you die, you lose your stuff. I don't know if you can go back because, to be honest, I haven't died yet.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly how the death mechanic works. It's really charming. It's a cute game. Cool graphics.
It looks
cool,
great.
Cool style. And it's neat because it's just got a different twist on like a classic, gameplay type that we all have grown up with and love. So, it's not just relying on that, oh, here's a Zelda with 16-bit graphics. Like, there's actually like a whole new type of gameplay system here, right?
Right.
And it's funny, as you sell stuff, it shows you what you sold it for, like prices that people were happy with, and so forth. The little reactions to what people, it has like a record of what people weren't happy with. So
that's cool.
Like people come to the store, they get upset, and like I walk up to the table behind them, and then I like start lowering prices. Obviously, I'm super early in the game, so I don't know all the ins and outs and the mechanics. Obviously, there's probably all kinds of tricks to really cash in and kill it. But that's a cool game. It's really neat. Again, it was provided to me. I don't think it is the most expensive game. Yeah, it's on Xbox One, Steam, Windows basically, and PS4.
It's also available on GOG.com and the Humble Store.
So on PS4 Canadian, it's $26.99.
Oh, okay.
So I assume that's $20 American, plus or minus. Kind of makes sense. $19.99. It is coming to Switch, they said, but they don't have a date on that. I would say it would be a perfect Switch game, but as is right now, I've been playing it on PS4.
Sweet.
So that's Moonlighter.
That one might be one that I could pick up, and I could actually see my wife kind of getting into that. That might
it's got a little, because of the shop stuff. I would say it kind of does have a little bit of a Stardew Valley vibe going on.
Mm-hmm. How hard is it? Is it like pretty hard, kind of easy, about average? I mean, I know how good you are at video games, so it's probably super easy for you.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I haven't died yet, like I said.
Okay.
Actually, that's a lie. I have died.
All right.
But that's part of the story, so...
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Oops. Oh, man. Damn it.
Mother trucker.
But when I was in control, I have not died. It's normal. It's got a little bit of challenge. I wouldn't say it's a total cakewalk, but it's like anything. It's probably the little bit of challenge that's there right now. It's just because the controls are new and the mechanics are new.
Well, fair enough. That's cool. I'll definitely maybe download it and see what she thinks, if she's interested or not.
Besides that, I also played the Mario Aces beta thingamajiggy that happened on the weekend.
How was that? I really wanted... It's funny. I booted up my Switch. I downloaded the app. I was all ready, and then we had friends staying with us over the weekend, and I never got a chance to try it, and I was kind of bummed out. But I'm hoping that they're going to do another one before the game comes out.
Right off the top, liked it enough that I will definitely be buying it.
Okay, wow.
It was fun.
I'm hearing really good things.
I didn't partake in the tournament. I did play all the characters that were included.
Right.
It looks fantastic. It plays really well. I've never actually played any of the Mario, because there's, I think, one Mario Tennis game or two before this.
There was one on 64, one on GameCube. There was also one on the Wii U.
There's been a few, but I never got into...
There was one on the original Wii. There's been a few, man.
I never got into them for whatever reason. And it's pretty crazy. You've got power moves. You've got the ability to destroy your opponent's racket. You've got like a bullet time mechanic where you can slow down times. You've got a controlled shot that you can do, like power shot. All this stuff kind of revolves around your meter charging up through rallying the ball back and forth. You build up energy, and then you have the ability to use all these other moves, trick shots. Every character has like crazy super move they can do as well.
Right.
There's counters to each of these moves as well, so there's like some depth in that sense as well.
That sounds really cool.
It is cool. It looks great. It plays so well. I I had a lot of fun with it. It reminded me, the last tennis game I really was into and had a lot of fun with, to be honest, is Virtua Tennis back on Dreamcast days.
I could see that.
And that was a shit. And not only was that fun against other people, it also had kind of like a cool, like, skills, like, I can't remember if it was like a quest mode or a single player mode, but it had really cool challenges where you had to, like, hit stuff with the tennis balls and wreck stuff. And this has like apparently like a quest mode as well.
Yeah, that way you unlock extra characters and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I was hearing that this is really interesting in the fact that you do like power shots and you actually have to like block those. Otherwise, it just like it makes your racket go down.
Yeah.
If you get your racket hits 0, it like explodes, or you have to like, or
yeah, you can basically
get
a TKO in this game by destroying your opponent's racket. And that's when you use like your power shot or your super move, where you can basically you can target your opponent and they can block it or return it, and depending on what you use, your racket will take damage.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously when it takes too much damage, it breaks. And if you break 2 rackets, you're done. Maybe 3.
I think it's 2.
I feel like it was 2. I never actually did that. I damaged the other guy's racket, but the match was always over before. I imagine against another person or whatnot, that might come into play more. It's got, it's tennis plus paper, rock, scissors with a bunch of super moves and a fighting game all thrown into the mix.
That sounds really cool.
Of course, with Super Nintendo polish and shine, it's a pretty sweet game. It was, I'm like, oh, that's a neat surprise. It was kind of on my radar, but not really.
Right.
I've said that a couple times this episode, so I don't know, drink. I don't know. But yeah, it's cool. I'm definitely going to pick it up. I enjoyed what I played, and I could, even without playing other people, I could have a good time with what's there. And obviously the story mode or whatever they end up incorporating will make it worthwhile. And then of course all the added multiplayer and features will make it even better. It's a cool game.
That's sweet, man.
I enjoyed it. And I did remind everyone to go check it out last week. So if you didn't play it, it's your own damn fault. You had a chance.
Like I said, I really wanted to. It just didn't happen, unfortunately.
Okay, so it's Mario Tennis Aces. I like put Mario Aces in the outline. I'm like, I thought that looked funny. So it's Camelot, which does like the Mario golf games, and I believe they do the Hot Shots games.
Oh, is that them as well?
I believe so.
These guys do know how to make a good game.
No, they do. They definitely do. I'm pretty sure Hot Shots. If I could spell here, my mic's kind of in the way of the. Oh, there's a Hot Shots Tennis. I forgot about that.
Hot Shots.
Yeah, Everybody's Golf, the Hot Shots series. Yeah, it's Camelot. It's the exact same. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, they got a good pedigree. Yeah, I think they've been making the tennis and the golf games for Nintendo for a while too already. So, with that, you don't have anything down here, so I'm going to say we can move along to our news.
No, like I said, unfortunately, not much game playing was happening.
We both have Vampire.
I know. I want to play that so bad.
That was provided to both of us, and I just haven't had the time to give it a fair shake.
It's installed, and I want so badly. That's going to be my this weekend game to like dive into and play on my PC here.
To be honest, between now and the next time we record, it's going to be Switch games for me, and whatever I play at E3, I doubt I will. I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to play more Detroit before we leave, because I got a little kid party coming up this weekend.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
And not just any little kid. It's like my daughter's birthday, right? So, and then obviously packing and kind of not ignoring my family so that I don't get a divorce when I come back for effing off for a whole week.
Right. Yeah.
So I kind of can't be total, ignore everyone mode. I kind of got to pay attention to the family before we go here.
Yes, I hear you.
With that being said, let's get on to the news. Coming.
So much news.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but whatever. Get your news. Assassin's Creed Odyssey has leaked via a promotional keyring. So when I put this story on the outline, this originally I saw it on Twitter. Basically, your classic kind of like EA or EB games, like here's a poster of a game and this and that. In that vein of leak, basically a collectible keychain, I guess, for pre-ordering it from. Did we figure out what store this is from or what it's from?
I think it's a UK store.
Yeah, it was from a French site that posted the photo. And then, of course, E3's like, or Ubisoft is like, God damn it. They basically put out, how long of a tweet was it? A 5-second video via tweet.
Short.
Which basically shows a Roman soldier, I assume it's Roman, or Greek, sorry, Spartan, kicking a dude off a cliff, invoking...
It's totally that scene from 300.
Invoking the This Is Sparta scene. And then see you at E3. So there you go. Confirmed. Leak. Last week when I put it on the outline, it was just a rumored leak. And then the next day it was basically made official. Rumor has it that they're going whole hog with the more RPG aspects or systems like they had in Origins.
Right.
Which is great because Origins is freaking awesome.
Origins was so good.
One of our favorite
My game of the year last year.
Yeah, one of our favorite games last year. So hey, I'm down with that. And then apparently new to the series is dialogue trees. Apparently, I assume a la Mass Effect. So cool.
That's interesting. That's So they're just making it more and more like The Witcher.
Yeah. So yeah, see you at E3. I will see you at E3 Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So yeah, we'll probably have a lot more to say about that. We'll see.
Fair enough.
Atari VCS console hit Indiegogo and broke Indiegogo. Basically crashed the site and eclipsed $2 million in its first day that it was available. There's been a lot of chat about this campaign because, well, people were criticizing that. What is this?
It's
also,
essentially a Linux PC that has an Atari logo on the front.
Mm-hmm, and a very vintage kind of look to it. It looks kind of neat.
And there's also 100 old Atari games.
There's a lot of people poo-pooing it in that that's really expensive.
It starts at $199, and then it goes up to $229, which includes a joystick. And then if you go up to $299, you get, I believe, 2 joysticks and you get a joystick and a controller, and it's the cool wood grain finish.
So yeah, it is apparently running some AMD chip in there. It's PC, Bluetooth,
yeah, it's
Wi-Fi.
got an older AMD processor in it. Not an awesome processor.
It's running a version of Linux.
Yeah, it runs a heavily modified version of Ubuntu.
It looks neat.
It's kind of interesting.
It's a little far out. I'm glad that hopefully these guys they've got the talent and their hearts in the right place, and that they deliver. That's where people have been poo-pooing this, and that like a lot of people have been like, well, yeah, whatever. This isn't going to happen. This is going to be vaporware, or it's Atari.
I don't think it's going to be vaporware. I think it's going to come out, and then we're just never going to hear about it again because who's developing for it?
Yeah, that's going to be...
I guess you could maybe load Steam.
I did listen to our friends on Gamertag Radio. Actually, exclusive, had an interview with... I can't remember the name of the dude they interviewed. I don't know if he was a marketing or PR guy for them.
Okay.
And he was talking about that they have some really cool announcements coming, which he didn't go into because it's still their estimated delivery is next summer, July 2019.
which is crazy.
And they are. He said they have some really surprisingly cool, well-respected devs with announcements for it, and he was really high on how excited he was, and that they've got the right team. They've got people from the industry that are totally got the chops to deliver on this, regardless of people's expectations and yada yada.
Right. So
crap they've been talking. So
I know it's not on our news list here, but did you also see that in television?
Yeah, I did.
Announced like that they're going to be creating a new console and they're coming
I think
back.
They're doing some mini weird thing. They were teasing an announcement of an announcement.
Yeah, and then
also
Tommy
Tallarico.
Yeah,
he's
at the helm of this whole thing.
Yep.
And I like it's odd that these are. I mean, I get it, the nostalgia and whatnot. It's just odd that. I mean, is this just going to be another Ouya?
No,
it does great. It does gangbusters on Indiegogo /Kickstarter.
I have a feeling,
and it disappears.
To be honest, if I was to make bets right now, and from what I heard in that interview, I have a feeling that this Atari console it'll do better than Ouya. Is it going to set the world on fire? I doubt it. Will it find a place in a little cult corner of the internet and video game fandom? I'm sure it will. That in television console, though, I don't know, but we really don't know anything about that. So,
all right.
and these are also streaming machines. They're going to be doing the Netflix and the YouTubes and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure you'll be able to sideload and do all kinds of separate stuff, like being Linux based. I'm sure that you'll be able to get your RetroPie in there and all your emulators and all that kind of stuff, though probably not really sanctioned by them. But being a PC, you can essentially do anything you want to it, right? And it does have more powerful than a weak ass Android powered system.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Good on them. I hope they deliver. I don't need a box like this. Between my PS4, Xbox, and existing PC and Switch, I don't need another box.
Yeah, I really
already have one too many, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
That's where my only question is about these systems is like do you whatever. I don't know. Everyone's trying to make a buck. Good on them. Hopefully they can deliver. Destiny 2. It's a new, it's not expansion, but new game? I don't know what you call it. Basically, the next release of Destiny 2, The Forsaken, was announced, revealed.
We call it Year 2 DLC.
Yeah, the Year 2 basically DLC.
Because they're doing this a very similar thing that they did with Destiny 1. So there's going to be a great big release of a game in the fall, which is the one that they're talking about here, Destiny 2 Forsaken. And then it sounds like that we're going to get three smaller expansions peppered throughout the rest of the year. So kind of similar to Destiny, like I said, Destiny 1, where you get the big expansion and the smaller ones. And I guess
they've compared this to Taken King in terms of size.
Right.
There's a almost 10-minute video in the show notes if you want to check it out for yourself. Basically, the premise is the campaign is basically a jailbreak, and you've got to hunt down 8 fallen barons and their crew. There's 2 new destinations. There's a new raid. There's a new game mode, competitive PvE mode called Gambit, which looked kind of neat.
That's kind of interesting.
There's 9 new supers, so I assume 3 for each class. New exotics, new gear, new armor, yada yada. Complete new weapon type. There's a bow, legendary bow.
Bows are hot right now, man.
Mm-hmm. So hot.
Apparently.
And then, of course, new missions, adventures, destinations, strikes, and more. Watch the video. It looks all right.
It's more Destiny 2,
yeah.
which is going to be great.
And it comes out.
I still haven't even finished the last expansion yet, so...
Well, seriously, it's like 5 minutes, so I'm surprised you haven't.
I know.
We actually played some... I didn't put it on the outline, but we actually played some Destiny on our gamer night the other night. We were hunting down some of the stuff on Mars to get some of the exotics.
Nice.
But back to Forsaken, it looks neat. It's more Destiny. It's got there's a high concentration on endgame content with this as well. The raid apparently is different with tons of secrets and evolves. They said that it was kind of like Vault of Glass and the Dreadnought had a baby, which are basically the two good raids. So, that's like, hey, this is going to be awesome because those are your two favorite things and we mushed them together. And they've added they've added the random rolls on weapons, which I'm not a fan of because that means grinding for an ideal. It's not good enough to just get a certain gun now. You could have the crap version of that gun because you didn't get the one with the good rolls on it, which that rewards it rewards
I see
people
what they're trying to do
with a lot of
people
time
to keep doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah,
but I just don't like the idea of having to do it over and over again to hopefully get something that doesn't suck.
Yeah, for me, I just don't have time for that. So I did like how they changed that. And there's a new weapon slot system. Apparently, you can load up with 3 shotguns if you wanted. Like ridiculousness like that. So they've got gear collections are coming. Tons of, stuff is fixes and stuff that, to be honest, should have been there from day one. We'll be there on September 4th when this releases.
All right.
That will also, we know, be at E3. So I'm sure we'll have more to see about that.
Fair enough.
Capcom has registered Devil May Cry 5 domain. The story comes via IGN, via Reset Era. Basically,
interesting.
But,
I feel like it was kind of only a matter of time, right? Like
yeah,
they're going to not make another one of those.
Basically, the site that registered the Monster World website ended up registering Devil May Cry 5. So, to be honest, we were expecting this announcement at PSX. It's come up a couple times now, so it's pretty surprising that it hasn't been revealed yet.
Although the name, so Devil May Cry 5, that implies that this is a sequel, obviously, to Devil May Cry 4, and not a sequel to the last game in the series, which they just called Devil May Cry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how that works out.
Interesting.
I assume this will be at Sony or Microsoft's press conference. If I was a betting man, that's what I would bet. Especially considering Capcom does not have a press conference. So,
but dude, what about Deep Down?
Capcom too. We don't have any appointments. They have appointments. They just don't want to see me. They don't like me. So I made me want to cry.
What about Deep Down?
That's disappeared. That's not ever coming out.
You don't think we'll ever see it at all?
I don't know.
You think they're just going to cancel it into the ether at some point?
We haven't seen anything on that in eons.
Can you believe that was one of the first games ever shown on for the PS4?
Yeah,
still isn't out yet.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's just done. I think on Monday, this next story, Rockstar announced all the Red Dead Redemption 2 pre-order bonuses and special editions. Of course,
to be honest, this is a clusterfuck.
It's just like any pre-order nowadays. There's 50 versions and retailer specific crap, and
it also sucks because I want to play this on PC. But they're going to do the typical Rockstar thing where they're not going to announce a PC version, and then 2 years later they'll announce by the way, we're going to make the best version of this on PC and we're going to release it. Or they just won't because they never released the first one on PC. So
I will be picking this up. I think I said on Xbox already because obviously without there being a PC version, the next best thing is an Xbox One X version.
Right.
There is apparently some exclusive PlayStation 4 stuff that hasn't been announced yet. I'm guessing PlayStation press conference. We will find out more. Anyway, the collector's edition looks, I don't know. It's got a box, a little lockbox thingy.
And if you pre-order digitally from the PlayStation or Xbox store, you also receive a cash bonus for story mode and an exclusive treasure map. However, you only get that if you pre-order by July 31st.
Nice. Bandana, playing cards, puzzle. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to stick with the regular edition on this. But yeah. There's a link in the show notes, and you can check out all the different versions and all the fun stuff that you get with that.
And there's different stuff that you get if you get the collector's box.
Oh, yeah.
Then you get if you get the ultimate edition.
It's like a million different things.
Oh, my gosh.
That's why I'm not going into it. They were announced. You figure out the headache of what retailer or store you're going to get it from.
No kidding.
If you pre-order it.
Oh.
Apparently... on the leaky train, E3 leaky train, Hitman 2 logo appeared on WB's website and promptly disappeared. So, yeah, it hasn't been officially announced yet. But WB is holding a reveal on Thursday morning. So actually, by the time you guys are able to download this, we'll already know what this is. So sorry this happened before we recorded. I assume it will be the Hitman official announcement.
I feel kind of bad. I bought the last Hitman game that was I bought the whole thing with everything Steam. In it. Yeah, I got it on PC, and I haven't played it yet.
It's really good. I didn't play much of it, but...
And that's the thing. I hear that it is like awesome.
It is awesome.
And I kind of feel like I need to.
So we know something from WB. Will they have more? I'm sure they will.
Probably.
This next story basically dropped right before we started recording. Valve basically says it will pretty much allow everything on Steam after a kerfuffle with all the noise that was made with them banning some of the dating/novel type games a week or two ago. I think we talked about it. Did we talk about it? We might not have talked about it.
So what I understand was that a big reason why they were going that route was they were trying to get their app out there. And if they had their app set up and working on the iStore, Apple Store, App Store, that they would need to be a lot more careful about everything because they're very, very anal about what they allow on their store. As far as like they censor a ton of stuff and like they make other stuff. Like they're really anal about it. And so that was kind of the initial thought about why Valve was suddenly doing this. But when the Apple Store rejected their app, and it sounds like there's not really any real way that it's coming back due to the way that everything is working, it sounds like after that happened, Valve kind of turned around and was like, well, we're approved on the Android App Store, and that's not going to be changing anytime soon, so... This is a giant headache for us, and forget this noise. Instead of trying to figure out on a case-by-case basis what we should do and what should and shouldn't be allowed and stuff on Steam, we're essentially just going to let everything come on board, and as long as it's not illegal or trolling, or straight-up trolling, as they said in their exact word, taking this approach allows us to focus less on trying to police what should be on Steam and more on building those tools to give people control over what kind of content they want to see.
Yeah. So tools for users to filter stuff out, tools to actually protect devs as well from getting mobbed if they make something people don't like. Basically, this kind of links into the story we talked about last week. And they're like, you know what? People want to see certain stuff. Well, we'll just let them see it. Now we can't not let stuff go out there because it offends a certain subset of people, even if it offends us as well. We shouldn't, offending someone shouldn't take someone's ability away to get their game out there or their voice. So they're just saying, we're not getting in the censorship game unless, like Dane said, it's straight up illegal or really freaking disgusting. So this is going to be interesting to see. This is evolving. This just came out. So how this really plays out, we'll see.
My gut says this is going to be a terrible idea.
Yeah. I've already seen some negative stories about this. Yeah, this, you know what? If you have a storefront, it is you can't just throw up your hands. You kind of got to take some responsibility. But at the same time, it's true. It's like, they allowed a bunch of games for like 5, 6, 7, 8 months. Companies have been making an income with no issue and got on the store. And then like after the fact for them to come along, it's like, yeah, sorry, we're shutting you down. That's not cool either. So, you either have to do it properly or like they've just admitted we can't do it. So we're just going to throw our hands up in the air and be like, meh. Right? Have at her.
Yeah, this is totally them trying to punt away all responsibility. And
absolutely.
I think it's I don't know. I think it's a terrible idea.
It will probably
we will definitely see how it goes.
It'll probably bite them in the ass.
But
hey, it's Valve. They can afford it.
Yeah.
That's it for our cross-platform, aka also known as PC section. Moving on to Nintendo news. Last week it was rumored Fortnite was coming. It's all pretty much been confirmed through basically a eShop update file or whatever. Apparently their logo was updated or was unearthed, discovered in the eShop update. And then, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to get announced next week.
It makes sense.
We know it's going.
It runs on everything else. Why can't it run on the Switch?
And there was another leak that was confirmed through this as well. Actually, the guy who unearthed this, he's like one of the big 3DS hackers. I used to follow him on Twitter, but his tweets are so nonsensical that I had to stop following him. But
I thought this came about from the logo leak for the E3 setup. Or was that a different
No,
leak?
that was last week's. Did we talk about that? I'm pretty sure we talked about that last week, didn't we?
I don't know if we did. I don't know.
I think we did. I'll have to check.
Anyways, there's about a 90% chance Fortnite's coming to the Switch. I mean, it's on everything else. Why wouldn't it be on the Switch?
Yeah, so last week there was a leak of a placard
like the Nintendo booth. Like the layout is
a bunch of logos for Switch announcements, and their Fortnite's logo was in there. Paladins.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of stuff. Now I gotta find it. I thought we talked about it last week.
No, I think it came out. I feel like that story came out after we recorded last week. Yeah. Maybe the Thursday or something like that.
I don't know how I could just find that story easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it very easily. But yeah, anyway, Fortnite was one of the titles on this sheet of like 9 different logos. And it looked pretty damn credible. So people were not too surprised, obviously. And yeah, confirmation through an eShop update, basically. Oh yeah, Overcooked 2, Paladins. Where's some of the other ones? Killer Queen is another one. Mm-hmm. And then some like this leak has been like kind of solidified in that like the devs of like Killer Queen changed their colors and logos and stuff to kind of like match this thing that was in this leak.
Right, because the leak was it Killer Queen Black? I think, or something like that. So yeah, Fortnite. We already knew it's coming. Definitely coming.
Now it's just a matter of when.
Right.
Moving along. PlayStation news. PlayStation's countdown to E3 has begun. Basically starting when we were recording. They're announcing bunch of stuff each day leading up to E3. So today, we obviously podcast comes out on Thursday, but you all know by now we record on Wednesday. This morning they announced a new PS4 game with PlayStation VR support. There's a list in the show notes here. If you go to the link, you'll see all the stuff that's coming, because this obviously won't be finished by the time you listen to this. There'll be one more announcement by the time we're released. But today they announced Tetris. What is it called? Tetris Effect was the announcement for today. And
right, that was like the new Tetris game with VR, right?
Yeah, from the guys who did it's coming from the guys who do Res Infinite.
Yeah, Tetris Effect.
Out
this fall.
With a VR component. Really...
I hate when they do that.
From Mizuguchi.
You got to design a game from the ground up for VR. None of this, drives me crazy when they do that. It looks really interesting, though.
I'm sure it has some cool, crazy VR stuff going on. This trailer just looks like a drug trip, to be honest.
Yeah. Or, maybe if you're into that, you could do some drugs and then play this. Really get messed up.
I'm just trying. I'm like, there's a Tetris game here? I'm like, I haven't seen it yet. Oh, there it is. I see blocks and lines now. Wow, this looks like a freaking trip. It looks very cool in VR. Res was freaking amazing in VR, so that was their first announcement. On Thursday, they're going to release a release date for an upcoming Worldwide Studios title. So that's something that's known, that's getting a release date.
Okay.
Friday, they're going to announce a new PS4 game. Saturday, they're going to announce a new PlayStation VR game.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, details on an eagerly anticipated game comes to PlayStation VR. So
okay.
I don't know if that's an existing VR title on the other platforms or
Fortnite in VR. Calling it right now.
Or something new on VR. So that's kind of cool. And that's leading up. That's Sunday. And then, of course, Monday is when they have their press conference. So probably some neat little surprises that are cool, but probably not big enough to make it to the press conference. That's neat. And then, of course, we talked about Tetris. Video in the show notes.
Yep.
Xbox news. To celebrate E3 this week, Xbox has a big ass E3 week promotion. The biggest Xbox sale of the year starts June 7th. So when this podcast comes out, there's a discount on Xbox One. You can actually get a discount on the Xbox One X, which is the first time it's ever been discounted.
Interesting.
$50.
Is that in Canada or just
I
or
assume
both,
it'll be in Canada as well. This story is on Xbox Wire, so
okay.
It is obviously in the US, but I'm pretty sure we'll get the discounts here. Up to 75% off of games on Xbox, including stuff like Monster Hunter, World, Sea of Thieves, PUBG. 1 month of Xbox Live Gold and or Game Pass. Now, I don't know how that works, if that's for new people or if you can add that on to existing. I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Can I buy a bunch of those?
I assume if you can, it's probably once.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Those prices are not available on the links right now.
Right.
Because it doesn't start till tomorrow, or by the time you get this podcast in your ears.
Look at that.
$10
take advantage of a special limited time introductory offer and get your first month of Xbox Game Pass or Xbox Live Gold for $1. So yeah, it looks like it's if you're not. But that being said, if you purchase your membership at a retailer, you'll enjoy a buy 3, get 3 months offer on Xbox Live Gold and save 50% off of 6 months live, 6 months of Xbox Game Pass. So that's still, both of those are really dope deals.
Mm-hmm.
Buy 3 months, get 3 months. You can like load up on your Xbox Live Gold that way. Be sweet.
Ooh, and they lowered the price on the Design Lab controllers to $69. That's kind of cool. That was one of my biggest regrets last year. At E3, they were doing limited edition design controllers at E3.
Yeah.
If they do that again this year, I'm going to take advantage of it because that's a pretty cool keepsake.
Fair enough.
I think it was colors and features that you could only get on site there. So yeah, that's if you're looking for some Xbox stuff, you got a big ass sale starting by the time you listen to this.
Quick, hide your credit card.
My credit card's clean because I just paid it off early, so I'm going to LA with an actual credit on my credit card.
Oh, shut up. Mr. I pay off my credit card all the time and move on.
And that's my personal credit card, not my
move on.
Not my big dirty credit card. This is the Rico's spend money at E3 credit card.
Moving on.
This story basically just broke before we sat down. Sources say that Microsoft has delayed Crackdown 3 to 2019. This comes from our friend Jason Schreier from Kotaku. So pretty reliable source here. He's heard from multiple sources that, that Crackdown 3 has been delayed. First planned for November 2017, then delayed to 2018, now out in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we'll find out for sure, like what happens.
We'll find out
next week
soon.
But
and I've said it before. I played Crackdown 3 at E3 last year. It was no bueno. It was not good. It needed a lot more time in the oven. And that,
which apparently somebody else felt the same way.
That was a year ago it needed time in the oven. Now they're going to get another year? Ugh. This game's in development hell. My hopes
I'm wondering if this is like got to do with the always connected stuff.
I don't
know.
I
know that they tried to move it only to...
Yeah, they had
I know that they tried to only move it to the... to like the multiplayer online was the only part that was always connected. But I can't help but wonder if like they tried to do physics and everything and it just... Yeah, and it's just way tricky. Yeah, I don't know. That or everybody keeps playing it and coming back to them going like, what the hell, man? Like, we want Crackdown 1, not Crackdown 2.
My hopes are not high for that.
No.
Which is, it's sad.
It's usually a bad sign when a game gets delayed this many times. I mean, there have been games that have come out and been great afterwards, but usually it's not a great sign.
Yeah. Not a good sign.
Yeah.
That's it for Xbox news, my friend. Public service announcements. Right now, you can download the hilarious, totally accurate Battlegrounds game on Steam for free within in the first 100 hours, which is by the time you listen to this podcast, you'll probably have 2 days left to download it. It is a hilariously physics-based battle royale game.
Right.
And it is far from being totally accurate. I saw some clips on Twitter. It looks pretty freaking hilarious. So yeah, you may as well download that. Link in the show notes or add it to your Steam account.
Yeah, add it to your Steam account and, hey.
I did download it.
At least you got it that way, and if it blows up, then you can jump in on it and,
And
I also grabbed it.
And yeah, that's it for public service announcements. Free for all section.
Yeah.
You finally saw Deadpool 2 and Solo.
Hell yeah.
So
there's one thing I got up to. It was some movie watching.
And?
Oh, sorry. I wasn't sure if you were going to add anything to that or not.
I don't have anything to add. I saw them. You all heard my opinion. I like them both. Deadpool 2 is awesome. Solo was it was solid. It was good.
Deadpool 2 might be the greatest movie ever made. I loved Deadpool 2. I really did.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I walked into Deadpool 2 expecting the problem that I've had a few times with the sequels, like where Iron Man 1 was absolutely incredible and I just was blown away. And then the second one came out, and while still good and I still enjoyed it, just definitely not nearly as good as that first one. And I went into this expecting kind of that. I went in thinking like, oh man, like I loved the first Deadpool. Like it was one of my favorite movies of all time. Like it was great. You know, there's just no way like this is going to be more of that, which I'm excited about.
Deadpool was very unique.
But man, Dave, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're not into, essentially nothing is sacred in a Deadpool movie.
No.
They'll make fun of themselves. They'll make fun of your mom and my mom and
DC
and DC. Like they make fun
Marvel,
of everything, and nothing
tropes.
is sacred. Like it was incredible though. I thought they did an amazing job of showing off Domino's powers. I was really curious how they were going to handle that. Because I love Domino. She's an incredible character in the comic books.
She's an incredible character in the movie.
And I mean, she's awesome in the movie. They do
she was
wicked
fantastic
job of showing off.
I feel like she stole the scene powers quite often.
She absolutely did. She was great. I I loved the cameo of Brad Pitt. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Spoiler alert, dude. That was a spoiler.
We can cut it out in post.
Oh man, you know how much work that is for me?
I'm being facetious.
I guess it's been out for a couple weeks.
Come on, people
3
go
weeks
see
now.
this.
Maybe a month. Has it been a month? No, 3 weeks.
It's been like 3 weeks. There you go. No, like it was honestly. I thought they did it justice. I thought Cable was awesome. He nailed it. Yeah, no, it blew away all my expectations.
Don't spoil the other thing.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Or the other thing. And that other thing.
Shut up. No, I really liked it. The end credit stuff was great. No, honestly.
The end credit scene is probably one of the best end credit scenes ever in a movie. Ever.
Yeah, it was pretty great. No, I like they yeah. Story was good. It was well written. Again, obviously they had a bigger budget than the first movie. Yeah, wow, just wow. I loved it. Yeah.
X-Force.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many little one-liners and stuff like that in that film that it is like, oh man.
I was laughing out loud like nonstop. Like,
dude, me and my wife and a couple of our friends went and saw it, and like all of us, the four of us, were just killing ourselves.
There's a couple that don't land depending on your humor that are just like,
oh sure,
can be cringy. But for how many that hit, it's okay.
I feel like I'm one of those people that I appreciate pretty much, even the ones that are like other people find cringy. I'm like, oh yeah, right out. So yeah, this was like pretty much a movie perfectly made for me.
I will be buying it on 4K Blu-ray if that,
yes,
as a testament to how much I liked it. And I don't buy movies.
Oh yeah, no, it's already happening. I also went and saw Solo. I really enjoyed it. I thought the main character, the guy that plays Solo, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I thought that he did a much better job than I thought he was going to.
No one can remember his name.
Han
Poor
Solo.
Guy.
Yeah, I know. He definitely did a better job than I thought he was going to. Like when I saw the trailers, I don't know if they were cut the way they were or what the deal was, but it just did not do it for me.
No, I thought the trailers made it look really bad.
Yeah, exactly. And like I thought he did a much better job. And like you said, I don't think anybody could live up to being friggin' Han Solo. And it just yeah. That being said, Danny Glover playing Lando was friggin' awesome.
Donald Glover, yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was so good, man. I would totally watch a whole movie of him being Lando. That would be awesome. But I think that, like we talked about before, it's hard to make a prequel because at the end you know that obviously Han lives and obviously Lando lives, and like, yes, they're telling a story and some of that stuff is cool, but ultimately kind of where it all ends up at the very end anyways, so it all feels a little, not that it feels moot, because it is telling a cool story in that universe, which I did appreciate. I don't know. It's funny. It was the four of us that went and saw that on the weekend, and I think that I walked out of it and enjoyed it quite a bit. My wife felt that it was just, she couldn't put her finger on it, but she just didn't, she felt like there was something that was missing. She didn't know what it was, but she was kind of, she didn't really like it. Mm-hmm. And the other people that I was with were kind of, they felt that it drug pretty bad in the middle, and I can't really argue with that. I don't know about really bad, but I definitely can see like where they're coming from as far as like it does drag a bit in kind of the third act. But I don't know. I still enjoyed having that story in the universe. I think that the first sort of half is really incredible. I think the train heist stuff was like dope as hell. Like that was some of the coolest stuff I've seen in a Star Wars movie in a while. And I do like that. I think that this felt more, it's funny. I felt like in a way that this felt more like the older Star Wars movies than some of the new ones do, just from a feel perspective, which kind of makes sense because it's, obviously those movies happen after this one or whatever. But no, I did enjoy it, and I think that if you're a Star Wars fan, I feel like if you're at all curious about, Han Solo and how he kind of became Han Solo, like you kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's worth seeing, and especially seeing in the theater, personally.
Yeah, I liked it. Like I said last week, it was like, do we need it? No. But overall, it was a decent sci-fi movie. There was problems, but it was fun. There was some cool stuff.
I mean, if somebody was like, dude, we're going to go see Deadpool 2 or Solo right now, which one do you want to see again? I would say Deadpool 2 in a heartbeat, and I would go watch it again.
This is true, but
that's,
I want to watch Solo again, and I have a feeling the second time we watch it, it might be better.
I kind of agree.
I think it's one of those movies that'll grow on you. I thought he did a decent job. It is some pretty goddamn big shoes to fill. It's just hard.
The biggest shoes, like that's crazy.
It's just hard. Prequels are hard.
Yeah.
This I feel like there's no winning with prequels.
I thought, oh man, I can't remember her name either, but the girl that plays Khaleesi on Game of Thrones, I thought she did a really good job as well.
Amelia
No,
Clarke?
overall, like, yeah, I thought she did really.
Kira?
Yeah, I thought her character was cool. I thought, cool. Well written. Woody Harrelson,
fuck, he was fantastic.
He was great. Again, like, yeah, no, it's funny. The more I talk about it, the more I kind of want to go watch it again.
It was a cool flick.
Yeah.
It had an uphill battle. Like that's,
oh yeah.
Like
that's a movie that makes me wonder that if Ron Howard would have came in from the beginning and just directed that whole movie,
it was like
what would have that movie been?
It was a recovery from like production hell, multiple writers, multiple scripts, multiple shoots.
I think they went through
had it
three
started,
directors before he came on board.
Had it started with him through the beginning all the way through, it might have been a very different beast.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if you're a Star Wars fan, like, go check it out. It's worth seeing on the big screen. So that's my hot take on Solo, a Star Wars story. So,
sorry,
still with me? Or are you dying?
No, I was just going down a rabbit hole of looking at the cast of the movie.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Anyway,
so yeah, and my saga of my phone, or I should say my phone saga, for anybody who listened last week, you know that I traded in my Essential phone begrudgingly. I loved the hardware, but I couldn't, knowing that the company is in a weird spot, I didn't want to get stuck with hardware that was no longer supported. If something happens to the company, that has totally happened to me before, and I didn't want to go down that road. So I was within my time of being able to return a device, which I did, which then turned into a whole thing about me wanting to pre-order a device. Now, funny story. So here in Canada, LG offered a pre-order bonus if you ordered the LG G7 ThinQ, which I'm just going to call it the G7 from here on out because I think the ThinQ is a stupid name. But anyways, which is their new flagship phone, Snapdragon 845, 4 gigs of RAM, blah, 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 dual camera, all the works, all the fun stuff. And the crazy thing is that this pre-order bonus is kind of ridiculous. If you pre-order the G7 in Canada, you get a TV. Now, of course, everybody says like, TV. Oh, well, yeah, of course, they're going to give you a shitty 32-inch TV, whatever. No, the pre-order bonus was for a 43-inch 4K HDR compatible enabled / whatever LG TV. So anyways, so I was, long story short, I was going to order a phone. I was going to get a new phone at the store. I found out about this pre-order deal and I was like, damn, I don't own a 4K TV. I don't necessarily even want a 4K TV, but that's pretty sweet. That's like, I looked it up online. They're selling for like $650 at Best Buy right now, which is like most of the cost of the phone. So like, man, that's a pretty good deal. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it because of the way my situation is, because I'm returning a device and then I need to essentially pre-order a device because the phone came out last Friday. So I needed to try and pre-order before obviously that date. But I didn't know if it was going to work. So I fought with some people. Initially, they told me, no, I couldn't do it. Then because I went in there thinking, like, if they'd say no, I'll just go with something else. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I figure, hey, if I can get a free TV out of the deal, like, again, not big enough to replace my 55-inch in my living room, but totally, possibly,
it's free.
I could replace it at the one in my office, or hell, I could sell it, or whatever. You know what I mean? That's a pretty sweet deal. So I was like, okay, cool. So hence I fought for it, and I eventually managed to get it all sorted out. Pre-ordered my phone. Showed up on it was supposed to show up on Friday, but because of our wonderful postal service, it didn't show up till Monday, which was a bit of a piss off, but whatever.
Oh, man.
I know, it sucked.
First world problems.
Totally. Totally. So yeah, so it did show up on Monday. So I have had it for the last couple of days. I'm really enjoying it. I will say the battery life on the Essential was better.
But I guess you've had time to put it through its paces a little bit.
Yeah. Feel wise, it feels really good. It feels, the Essential had, like, they feel different. Obviously, they're different devices, but the Essential phone had such a quality, not a heft to it, but just a feel of like, this is really robustly built. Whereas the LG feels amazing in the hand. But it feels a lot more like an iPhone does. It feels like it feels a little more fragile. How's that? Like, it looks amazing, but it feels a little bit more like I could break this easier. That being said, beautiful screen. It does have a notch if you want it to. You can sort of hide the notch if you don't want it to be there. I personally don't really care about the notch, so I leave it there to have the extra screen real estate. Screen's nice and bright. cameras so far, I have not really used it much, so I might have to sort of do an update once I've had a little more time to mess around with the phone. I do appreciate that it's got a headphone jack. That was one of the reasons I actually went with this phone in the first place. It has a wonderful high quality, or it's actually got a hi-fi quad DAC, so headphone stuff coming out of there sounds incredible. USB-C, and it also has wireless charging, which is dope, because if I'm going to have a glass back on my phone, I sure as shit better be able to use it for wireless charging.
Yeah, I miss that, but...
Yeah, that's kind of my theory. My one concern is that LG in the past has not exactly been well known for dropping updates on their phones, so here's hoping that I don't have to wait a year and a half to get Android P. They claim that they're actively trying to work on that to make it better. So far, the Android skin is a little bit annoying in certain ways, but kind of helpful in others. Overall, I'm pretty impressed, and I do like the phone. Hardware-wise, I still like the Essential phone better. I will say that
it's a solid phone,
but I really do like I am this. The G7 is definitely warming up on me. I'm definitely liking it more and more. I mean, like I said, I'm only 3 days in so far, and it was a bittersweet thing to begin with because I really liked the Essential phone a lot. So, but like I said, I do love the headphone jack. I do like the wireless charging. I've got a wireless charger on the way for it. So yeah, that's kind of the end of my new phone saga, at least for now.
Nice.
So there you go.
I still run on my Pixel 2. No new phones for me, but my phone's pretty new, so.
I was going to say, you've only had it like a month.
Maybe a month. We won't be getting a new phone for a while. If I get anything new, it's going to be a Pixel 3. I'll say that much, because I love my Pixel 2.
Yeah.
With that, Dane?
So. That's it. That's all we got.
I think we got an episode 159. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
As always, you can come bug me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
And of course, you can follow us in all the usual places and or like us or subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all Geekoholics. Very easy to find. Actually, if you go to our website, Geekoholics.com, you can always find show notes for each and every episode, as well as links to subscribe to the show. Obviously, if you're listening to it, you've most likely subscribed. If you are listening to this on YouTube, what are you doing? Get over to our website, Geekoholics.com, and subscribe to us on one of your platforms of choice.
That being said, we appreciate you listening to us wherever you listen to us.
Absolutely.
If YouTube works for you, then hell yeah.
Yeah.
If Spotify works for you, we're also there too.
That makes more sense. YouTube.
I'm a poet and I didn't know it.
The podcast outputs to YouTube just because for discoverability reasons. I don't know. We get tens of views. Some episodes have randomly had hundreds of views. There's not really anything to watch, but yeah.
Some people use YouTube as a way to throw it on though, and then they listen to the audio anyways.
That's true. But yeah, if you're over there, make sure to throw us a sub on your podcast players, and also don't forget the most beneficial thing you can do as a thank you to Dane and I is leave us a review on iTunes or the Apple Podcasts app. I will be at E3 next week. I do not know the logistics of recording a show next week, as I will be a guest at someone's home. I don't know if it's going to be cool for me to, ignore him for 2 hours to record an episode. I have a feeling...
Look, man, you tell him that's why you're there. You are there to get the hot takes, and then we talk about those hot takes.
I have a feeling that I will be doing lots of vlog-style videos that will get posted up raw, uncut, unedited on YouTube. We'll see if I follow through on that.
Probably not.
Maybe I might get some magic interviews or guest recording on site. We'll see.
Find that Greg Miller guy. I hear he's,
I'm pretty sure those guys are pretty busy, but I'm talking like devs and whatnot. Maybe I might get to throw down some words for us. We'll see. I want to try and do something a little different. Whether I'm able to release that while I'm there, we'll see. If not, I'm sure I will come back with tons of news and goodies the following week. We'll figure something out.
Sweet.
Until next time, we are out.
Catch you guys later.
Peace.